Hello, hello, welcome to PinTech Live. Hello. All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me fade out the music, or just stop it. Hi, Kyle. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm so happy that you're finally back.
I am back, and I see you are still working on Elvira and the Party Monsters. That is so cool.
Is it?
Yeah, actually, I am glad. Can you give me a recap of what you did last week and what we're doing today? Because I'm so lost.
Man, I feel the same way. No, we just took it apart last week, and we are going to continue taking apart and cleaning and making better this week. Because this game is getting a lot of new parts, and it's gross. So
nice. How do you plan on cleaning it?
What?
How do you plan on cleaning it?
Oh, we're going to use the greatest Novus product, Novus number 2. We're going to use a butt ton of it to get this thing clean. Now let me stop screwing things, and I will sit down and we can chit-chat.
This is the game that never ends.
How's the audio?
It's a good question. We haven't had anyone screaming in the chat yet, but y'all can let us know how it sounds.
Yeah, we're trying. Oh, shucks, I don't have a chair over here.
Next week we'll get a little upgrade to sound so much cleaner. Audio is fine. Oh.
Okay. We have.
Thanks,
we're still working with our crummy setup until next week, so you'll have to put up with it for just a little longer.
No crumbs.
Oh man, so it's been 7 days since we've all spoken. Emoto, what were you doing last week?
Well, I saw Foo Fighters get launched, which was super exciting. That game looks amazing. I was watching the gameplay stream last night. I didn't see you in the chat, Kyle.
I was very much there. Every time I said something, it got read out loud, so I know I said the right things. I always just ask everyone what their favorite pizza topping is. That's basically all I contribute, but... Is it that mic? Yeah. Okay, we're raising the audio on my microphone. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, well...
What?
I was thinking...
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Turn off the other
wide cam?
Yeah. It's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. We're this is funny. Sorry. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. What else were you doing last week? Is there anything else you can talk about or no?
No.
Okay. Actually. Wow, man. So Moto is literally doing nothing, and that's why she wasn't here with me. That sucks.
I was doing something that I can't talk about yet.
Yes. Okay, I was just trying to figure out if I was able to talk about it as well, but you know what I'm doing here. I'll just explain it to everyone else. What else was going on? Man, so I just got to see our super cool booth layout for the Texas Pinball Festival. It looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be great. We're going to have so many games there, over 30 games, and 20 of them are going to be Foo Fighters.
I don't know. There's probably not very many people here right now, but are any of you peoples going to be at the Texas Pinball Festival?
We are going to have 2 Elvira premiums for y'all to play. House of Horrors.
That's cool.
Horrors. At the booth. And 2 Godzilla premiums. Spunky will be there. Awesome. What, come by the booth and say hi. Introduce yourself. Be like, hello, I am Spunky. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's unfortunately normally
I'm a robot.
The Moto's a reverb robot. We have normally I have like a clip-on mic, but today I'm using the webcam as a microphone, and I still need to hear a Moto by having her on my speakers. So I'm sorry. That's excellent. You should come. It'll be a fun time. I probably won't be at very many shows this year, so this is going to be a really good one.
Exactly. Spunky, that's exactly how I expect you to introduce yourself when we see you at Texas in a few weeks. It's just a few weeks already. Wow. And then right after that, we'll be at Midwest Gaming Classic in Wisconsin with even more
all sorts of times to come see a Moto. Yeah, well, that's fun. I think we'll talk about. Well, I think we'll save, since we have to end like just a minute before 5. Maybe we'll save all the Foo Fighters talk until later. I want to see.
Let's get into Elvira.
Sure. Yeah. So, as you can probably kind of see in the corner of your picture there, there's not much on the game anymore. We took it all apart. This game's really gross. It's really dirty, and I've been sitting here scrubbing at it for the last hour or so, cleaning off the muck and the nastiness. I think this game got cleaned a lot with millwax over the years. Millwax is gross. And it leaves like this awful, like oily residue all over the playfield, especially when it gets dirty. I don't know what it is about like someone laying on millwax like hella thick, and then it gets dirty because they didn't buff it off super bad, and it just leaves the playfield feeling really waxy, but not like, I don't know, not waxy. It's like kind of like slimy, like greasy. It's gross. So there's a lot of novusing to do. Not minwax, millwax. Millwax is a really old like playfield cleaner that was like advertised to, you know, people that need to clean their pinball games, but there are better things to clean your games with now. So I don't like that. I might actually hit the Mylar area with some naphtha on this game just to see if I can break it a little bit, but it's actually cleaned up pretty good. It's going to be a decent Elvira once we're done. So Minwax. What is Minwax? Is that a furniture polish? I don't know. It sounds familiar though, but. Straight up pledge, lemon flavor. You know, some people do actually swear by pledging their playfields. I have never done it. I immediately don't agree with it, but there are people that do it, and seem to have decent results, I suppose.
Makes it go really fast.
Minwax is polished and stained. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's why it was so familiar. No, dude, for real. People like actually pledge playfields to make them go super, super fast and stuff. And it works. I just am horrified of like liquids and wood playfields and stuff. It just doesn't seem correct. Someone else asked something. Is that a high life? No comment. Kyle, between last week and today, did you do any additional cleaning on the playfield? Yes, I have been kind of cleaning at it for about an hour. I've taken off a ball guide or two to get like deeper into the back. So it's I'm trying to get it nice and clean. We will continue disassembling things, but I've actually kind of run into a few stuck posts and screws, like things that don't want to unthread. So I kind of figured that might actually be a decent thing to show on the stream. Is like, oh, let's just take a look and see why. And how we can try to fix these pieces of hardware that are not budging. I'm going to keep reading here. Chuck Webster coming in with the knowledge. Thank you. How's it going, mate? Someone on YouTube whose name I can't read because my eyes are really bad. Have you ever thinking about building your own pinball machine? Yes, I actually have.
You can do it.
I want to.
Go, Kyle, go.
I've got some things down. You know what I've realized is like through the process, like it is creatively kind of like draining, and it comes in spurts. So like I'll like kind of work on my project for a bit, and I'll go like totally full throttle on it for like a week or two, and then I totally forget about it and don't touch it for months. And then I get back into it. And I don't know. I think that's kind of healthy. We'll see. But, yeah. But, you know what I do think about is fixing games all the time. Because I do like fixing games. So, I'm good at that. Let's keep looking at Elvira. We'll see some of the stuff we've taken apart. The game hasn't been buffed yet. And I haven't totally torn it down post-wise and stuff. So there is a bit of a haze. Generally, Mylar will clean up very nice. And actually, it looks pretty good on the camera. And actually, it looks quite good in person, too. But I've laid down a lot of Novus on this playfield, and I just haven't buffed it yet. So when you buff it, it will become clearer and shinier. But I've taken off a ball guide here to get a lot of this wear in the corner out. This area was quite badly... I don't just the dirt was very badly ingrained, right? You can see pretty clear as day here the transition between the Mylar and the bare playfield, and some of that like ingrained ball dirt is that's just kind of in there forever. I will try to get it out, but the more trying and the more rubbing you do to try to get that off of the playfield, the more damage you can potentially do to what's left of the paint. And also, to be honest, actually, no, I won't do much here because you know what goes here? A gigantic skull. So you can't even see that. But the goal is to get it clean before we put it back together. We don't want to hide dirt. But a lot of what that comes from, unfortunately, is... A lot of what that comes from is just dirty balls that are scratched up from not being changed out. Those balls then collect dirt, and as they run over the rough surface of the ball, will kind of tear slightly at the paint and then impregnate the dirt into the playfield. So it's this is why we change our pinballs when they start to get nasty. That's a good summarization of what I'm trying to get at. See, the chat's kind of going here, so I'm going to stand next to the camera. Pez Johnson says, thank you for showing crimping on the interconnect board. The taxi I've been working on is showing life. Nice. Excellent. I'm glad that doing that every couple months actually is helpful, and I'm not just doing things over and over again and boring you guys, so I'm glad that helped out. Steve Faith, hey, what's going on, man? My wax of choice is the crystal clear paste wax, like a regular carnauba. Emoto's like getting a good view of my neck.
There you go.
Now you get to see my chin. Ooh. Crystal clear paste wax like a regular carnauba, but dries clear in case you miss some buffing. Interesting. I've never seen that or used that. I generally like to use just a 100% pure carnauba paste wax, which, yes, when you don't buff it out, it gets really white, nasty, icky spots. So that's neat. But yeah, when it comes to wax, definitely try to stick with like a pure carnauba wax if you can. The less additives and stuff like that, the better. Remember that most waxes are for your car, not for your pinball machine. So using something... I'm black and white now. That's cool. I'm like an old-timey villain or something.
It froze on my side.
Doodad. How often should you replace the silver ball? It depends on the game, and it depends on how much you play the game. Games that have a lot of metal-on-metal contact, as you can imagine, will start to mar the ball quicker. Games that are mostly like wood-on-plastic contact, perhaps, they will scratch up a little bit less. So it depends on how much you play and what game. But just take a look at whenever you service your game, whenever you take the glass off, just take a look-see at the pinballs, and if they're very dull or they're very obviously scratched up, toss a couple new ones in there. They're not super expensive, and it saves your game. Spunky says, successfully removed Mylar from a Batman Forever with freeze spray. Nice work. Working on a Bally Future Spa, and wondering if older playfields have more issues. Yes, they very much do. I wouldn't remove the Mylar on anything older than 1990 without being extremely careful and being 100% ready to destroy that playfield, because it's not hard to rip off ink and stuff, especially off of inserts. The Pin Master, hello! We're live from the Bangback Pinball Lounge in Columbia, South Carolina. Excellent.
Yay. Oh, shout out to Bangback as well, because they're hosting the Roger Sharp, Man Who Saved Pinball film next Tuesday at the nearby Nickelodeon Theater. And then they're doing a Pinball Profile Played in America tour tournament the next day on Wednesday. So lots of crazy exciting pinball stuff going on in Columbia, y'all.
Yeah, I'm going to go walk down to the movie theater and see that. That'll be fun. Joust 7800, can you refurbish pinballs? No, it's not worth your time. JB Weld and Tumbling, no, absolutely not. Throw them away, turn them into art. They're not worth trying to save. They're very much the disposable wear items for your game, and they don't cost much to replace. So, what do I think of Foo Fighters? I think it's freaking awesome, and we'll talk about it because I'll wait for more people to dive in. Maybe we'll do it towards the end. I got to play it a month or so ago for a long time, and I've wanted to say so many things about it, but I've had to keep very tight lips. Steve says, yeah, look, you know what you can do with those pinballs is, like, if you do tumble them and shine them up, I mean, they're fun curios to give away to people for them to then go throw away, or maybe to give them to an artist to make a pinball art sculpture. But yeah, I'm cheap. I am very cheap, but I'm not that cheap. So, this game is, I don't know, maybe some people remember we were looking at certain things here and there. I was able to kind of start cleaning this section up here. We lost a very slight amount of...
Can you turn the pile cam towards you more?
Yeah, I forget that since we have so many less cameras now, I need to really be on top of moving things. Wait, I need to turn it that way so you can see the game and not the corner. Okay. So I've kind of come up here and started cleaning up the pop bumper area, and that's when I ran into a couple stucky screws. So let's see what's going on with those. This area was extremely dirty, and it still is quite dirty, but I've been able to rub off a lot of the opacity in that nasty dirt without removing a lot of ink, so that's good. I am apprehensive to continue really trying to file away at some of this. I will continue to work on it a little bit here and there. But I would rather have a game that is a little cloudy and dirty than a game that is missing a decent amount of paint up here. So we will attack that as we see fit, as we continue getting things apart. This is the kind of I'm going to call it generational dirt. Look at how there's just so much dirt ingrained into this playfield that's stuck underneath posts and stuff. It's been a very, very, very long time since this game has been properly cleaned or cleaned at all. So the playfield's also very dry feeling in sections that are not, the main section of the playfield. And that just goes to show to me that it has not been taken down and wiped. I mean, this is, I don't know, there's a feeling to an old playfield that's not what I would call juicy. This is not a juicy playfield, but we are trying to get it there. But yes, there is much to take down, and let's just continue working on that a little bit. I'm going to take a photo of this top area really quick.
Is it crud on top of the bat lane lettering, or is it where is the
I think it's very deeply ingrained crud. And that very deeply ingrained crud is what,
Can you fix it?
No.
Can he fix it?
I mean, I could, but it's I don't want to cause more problem than trying to solve what the perceived issue is, I guess. Yes, it's dirty. Yes, it's unsightly. But in my process of trying to clean it 100% or trying to make it perfect, it can also be quite easily ruined. I would rather preserve what's there than try to make it extremely clean. So what we'll probably do is continue to hit it with some Novus and then see if we can't also hit it with a little bit of naphtha and see what that might take up. I think naphtha is an easier cleaner that is better used in between massive cleanings like the one I'm doing here. But at the same time, I use Novus to clean all of my games when they're a little bit dirty. Some people don't agree with that, but I don't want to talk about cleaning games this episode too much. Other than what we're doing now, not all the opinions.
Yeah, there's a little Mickey Mouse right there.
A hidden Mickey! Oh my gosh.
Easter egg.
Daniel, hello, welcome. Roller Pinball. It is a hidden Mickey. Rubbing compound is way too harsh. Rubbing compound is something you might be able to use on Mylar, but just don't. There's really zero reason to innovate in cleaning. There's no reason to innovate cleaning a pinball playfield. There's a million different ways to do it. They're very well documented, and the supplies are extremely ready. Steve, yes, you can't purchase real naphtha in California, and that's also why I've never used naphtha to clean pinball. A lot of people swear by it. You can't buy naphtha in California. Naphtha is very similar to lighter fluid, though, and you definitely can use Roncinol lighter fluid to clean a lot on a pinball game. It's very, very good at removing adhesive as well. But I've basically just used Novus to clean everything for the entire time I've been working on pinball games, and it is fine. Doodad, yes, Novus does have a little bit of grit, but the amount of grit in Novus I would preface with 100 littles before you say grit. It is the least gritty thing of all time. Is it ever so microscopically abrasive? Yes, because it's a plastic polish. But it is not gritty enough to destroy anything or show scratch marks on your pinball game. Yes, naphtha is a great grease remover as well. White gas, that's interesting. I don't know if it's a Schedule 1 narcotic, but, who knows? California labels things oddly. There's a lot of posts on this game that aren't supposed to be on this game, so I'm just kind of removing them, and we will have to address things later. It's really common to see these sorts of things behind drop target banks. I couldn't tell you how many of these posts are original or what was supposed to be here. There was probably only 2, maybe 3. But it's really common for balls to get jammed up behind a rubber or jump the rubber behind a drop target bank. So that is why you'll see on a lot of games people will screw in all sorts of posts behind them to make it so the ball can't get stuck. That's fine, and that's actually an upgrade. It just depends on how elegantly people do it. This post has been repositioned. That's probably, or definitely, the original hole. But since it became stripped out, instead of trying to repair the hole, someone moved the post. Annoying, but not the end of the world. I will repair that hole and move this back in. And it will likely not even be seeable. Most of this is under a plastic next to a ramp anyways.
No!
But yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep kind of taking certain things apart. I'm not going to tear the whole thing down because I think there is like a maximum amount of return on however much effort I do put into this. And tearing every single post and ball guide out is really not going to make the end product that much better. But we will be taking most of these things out, and I will try to get as much of the dirt out as possible. But I'm not going to remove all the ball guides. I will remove the shooter lane ramp to get this clean, right? I want to clean this out, but I'm not going to go as far as taking the ball guide out to really make it perfect. It's not going to make the thing like significantly better or more, it don't matter. That's what I'm going to do. I'm the boss. I can do what I want. But let's continue going.
Nice.
Yeah, thank God Emoto's back because it was so boring when she was gone.
I'm sure it was exactly like what's happening right now.
No, it was Degenerate Central. Degenerate Central. So Spunky brings up a question that I do have an answer to. Is there really any use for Novus 1 and 3?
Hot takes.
In my opinion, not really. Not much in Pinball. If you really need to get out like the super nasty, the super heavy-duty Novus 3, it's definitely not going to be on a playfield. It's most likely going to be on like an external portion of the game, or the places I've used Novus number 3 most often are like using Novus and what it's actually supposed to be used for as like a plastic polishing system. So like on really badly, like on DMD games, on the bits here where people will like etch in some graffiti, right? I've sanded those down before using like a bunch of sandpaper and then down to the Novus and then buffing to get some of those etchings out on toppers like Fishtails or Addams Family or Whitewater, where people will go and carve their initials into those things using the plastic polish as it's supposed to. But there's Novus number 3 is too abrasive and just too strong to use on a playfield, so there's really not a lot of use for it. What it does have some decent usage on, though, is cleaning metal parts. Cleaning legs, cleaning lockdown bars, cleaning side rails. Hitting it with some Novus number 3 will go in there and take out some of, some more aggressive, icky spots on some of the metal. And then you can follow it up with some number 2. I use Novus number 2 to clean cabinets. I use Novus number 2 to clean plastics. I use Novus number 2 to clean everything on a pinball game. You really can. Now, your mileage may vary. Use it in an inconspicuous spot, just in case the one place you do try to use it is going to take off all your paint. But it's a gentle sort of a abrasive cleaner. Novus number 1 really doesn't have a place because that is like a sheen inducer. It doesn't clean anything. It just makes things shiny because it's a plastic polish system, right? A 3-part system. Using the last step, Novus number 1, will make plastics clear and shiny and look new. And there's just, I don't know, you could use it on the top of your plastics maybe, but it doesn't have enough grit to actually clean things, and it's also a liquid, which makes it very uncontrollable to try and like clean a playfield with. So don't be scared of Novus number 2. There's probably a bunch of people on the internet that make it sound like it's going to just remove every single bit of paint on your playfield and you're going to be absolutely boned and you're never going to see the art again, and that's just not true. It won't happen. Hello, Wildman.
Hello, Wildman.
I tell her about the studio fires. Shh, be quiet. Does Novus leave a protective coat? No. Novus is a plastic polish. It just cleans. Generally, you can wax. I don't really wax playfields all that much. Generally, I'll wax a playfield one time when I get a new game and I've done like all the work and I wax it. And then we give a big thumbs up and we just enjoy the game. I really don't like the way games feel when they're waxed. They feel too fast, too unnatural, so I don't particularly like to wax games. To be honest, I kind of like the way games play when they're just like ever so slightly dirty. I'm going to put this ball gate on really quick, and then we'll lift the playfield up and see if we can get some of these stuck screws out. Sorry, I'm going on tirades right now, but hopefully they're helpful. To be honest, like back when I was working as a pinball fixer guy, I mean, like we would just have like a rag that was so saturated in Novus that you could take that rag and like wipe a slightly dirty playfield down without having to add like any new product. It'll last you a while, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's lift this up. We've still got one ball guide on. Oh, and we still have that collapsed shooter spring. But let's see here. So we did see, I remember when we were working on this last week, trying to get some of the ramps off and such, we ran into a lot of T-nuts that were missing, and instead of installing new T-nuts, a lot of nuts were just installed onto the bottom of the playfield. So, which is fine, it's annoying, but a T-nut is a weird piece of hardware, and only us pinball weirdos would really have stuff like that. So that's kind of a normal thing you will have to contend with at times. This T-nut is very rusty seeming on the inside. Oh, and it's, wait. Oh, it's this one? Huh, okay. Anyways, since this is a game from the beautiful American South, it is a little rusty, and posts will rust into T-nuts, and when you try to unscrew those posts, they will just snap. And I'm afraid that's probably what's going to happen with some of these posts up at the lane dividers up top. So I'm going to do a little bit of investigation. Let's see. Yep, they're very much in T-nuts. So let's get the camera and let me show you what we're looking at. What I'm looking at.
A speaker.
Yes, one speaker. So there's our rollover lanes right here, right? Let me increase the light here. Got our 3 rollover lanes, and for what I think it's the way Williams put them together would always, the bottom, the piece of hardware facing the flippers would always be a machine thread screw with a T-nut, and then the upper one would always be a wood screw. I think that's because if you think about it, the pop bumpers are right down here, so if the pop bumpers, fire, and that pushes the ball up here, having a machine thread screw is good. It's a stronger connection, I guess. That's the way I always figured it, at least. But it is common for these things. I can see the rust. They're probably quite badly rusted in. So we might have to just break those and get them out. Look, it's one of those things. Like, could you sit here with some PB Blaster and like try to tap the rust out and extract the screws? Like, yes, but is that worth your time? Like, a T-nut probably cost, I don't know, like it costs cents, and then the screw costs cents. And sometimes it's quicker just to destroy, replace because your time investment will be a lot cheaper. The game's not going to be any better off for saving that original screw. So one thing we could try is I will go grab a little bit of, I think I have some PB Blaster. I'll see if I have some. I'll tap the bottom, I'll hit it with a hammer, and we'll see if one comes out. If not, we might just have to break them, unfortunately. But these are the things that are important to have. Whether you're a in-home service kind of person or a bench person or just someone who does this for fun and works on your own games. But having these bits of hardware in your case is, it can really be a lifesaver. So you don't have to do stuff the wrong way. I'm looking at the chat now. Keeping the dirt and grime away enough to protect the games. Yes, but also remember that this game was operated, probably wiped off, sold to someone, and then it was played and played and played and played by people who didn't know how to maintain their games or did not care. And that is why this game is in the condition it's in now. A game in your house is a time capsule. In my opinion, most people with games at home definitely over-clean them. So I wouldn't, don't fall into that trap. Just clean it when it's dirty and it bothers you. You know, you don't need to clean it every day. It's a pinball game, not a beautiful Mercedes Gullwing car or something. Anyways, celebrity guy. No, I'm not a celebrity guy. You get out of here. T-nuts suck so much they blow. Hi, Dwayne the bathtub. Welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm going to go see if I can find the PB Blaster. I'll be right back.
He left us. Tom, as soon as he gets back, will ask Kyle about his iron choices.
There's no PB Blaster. Just WD-40.
So Tom said, I noticed your Haka solder station. Do you recommend a solder iron for just basic under playfield work?
Yeah. In my opinion, I've owned I own like 3 of these. This is probably my favorite all-around hobbyist soldering iron. Can you switch the camera over?
Yes.
I think this is the Hako 888.
Ooh.
It is, the 888D. This is a great iron for someone who owns a pinball game and really wants to get dirty with it. It's powerful enough to be able to do board work. It is portable enough to be able to be lugged around and be used as a portable iron inside the game. This might not be the best iron for like a traveling tech. It absolutely is usable. It's just bulky and heavy. But this is a great, 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 amazing iron to have for a home or someone who wants to really take care of their pinball game. And they're relatively inexpensive. The actual irons themselves have a lot of different tips you can get for them. So you can go, I like a flat tip. If you like a pointed tip, you can get them. If you like really wide tips, narrow tips, you can get them. There's a lot of choice. So I really recommend this one for people that want a high quality, hobbyist iron. We sell a couple on our website that aren't Hako, and they are just as good quality-wise, but you don't get the customizability that you would with this kind of an iron. So, like some of the irons that you might be able to get from our website are like just as good functionally, but you can't get replacement tips for them, or you can't get a very wide variety of replacement tips like you can with this. So I really like this. On the topic of soldering irons too, I guess I'm a Hakko fanboy, but like my iron that I bring around to service calls is the 301, 601. A Hakko 601. Again, a lot of different tip replacements. It gets hot enough for me to be able to work on circuit boards as well. It doesn't retain the heat as well as this thing can, but I can work my way through it, and it's quite small, so this is easily portable. I like this iron. I used to not like it because I don't like this big fat cord. My other one used to be a flat cord, and it was easier to wrap up. But I've grown to like this over the past 6 years that I've been grumpy about it now. You know. My favorite soldering iron got crushed by a customer's garage door once. And he felt so bad that he gave me like $150 to go buy a new one, so I bought that. Sorry, now the chat's going wild again. We're not going to be working on this game at all, are we? What temp do you use for board work? I like to keep my irons around like 800 degrees. 800 degrees Fahrenheit, of course, just because that I'd rather work fast, and I have enough experience to be able to get in, get out. So hotter the better for me. But work it with what you're comfortable with. Yes, read what Steve said there. Steve is spot on. If you're experienced and you can get in and out for with smaller components, like a higher temperature just makes everything go so much quicker. But I would heed Steve's advice there for if you're just learning or you're not as confident as me, to use a lower temperature so you don't damage things. So, solder master, that is not me. I'm a solder baby.
Solder master.
Okay, so these screws, which are kind of in odd limbo, are Phillips head screws, which is kind of annoying. I kind of wish I had my driver with me because the driver would just make quick work of snapping them. I'm going to see what I can do. The first thing I'm going to do, actually, before we just like try to go for the total nuclear option is let's get the torque manipulator. Everyone needs a torque manipulator.
Torque manipulator.
A handy dandy Ace Hardware torque manipulator.
It's intense.
I just like reading everyone's comments, sorry. Hickory, yes, it is. It is nice. Once I'm done with this torque manipulator, I will degrease it and then use it in a smoker to smoke something. Because that's what people use, right? Hickory? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my punch or my nail set. This is a punch. You know what? This is great. I actually use this for two reasons. This punch is the perfect size to take pins off of door hinges when you need to move games in and out of rooms where you need to take the door off. And it's also the perfect size for hitting with the hammer. So multiple uses for one tool is great when you're in a cramped toolbox. I'm going to try just hitting the screw. Sometimes hitting the screw will break some of the rust off and make it removable. So what I'm going to try to do is get in here. I'm going to look for the head of the screw or the tail end of the screw in the T-nut. I'm going to hold the playfield up with my shoulder and just give it a good... I'm going to do it for all four of these rollovers.
Do you want to put the other camera down inside of there?
Installing T-nuts as well, FYI.
Can you, Kyle?
What?
Kyle, put the camera inside the cabinet.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Let me show you guys how to hammer.
It's going to vibrate.
Little punchy boy. Get that thing on the screw and go. And sometimes the vibration that you send into the screw and T-nut combo is just enough to break the little bit of rust loose.
Can you do it in slow motion?
Do I do it in slow motion? No. Should I?
Can you? Yeah.
Whoopsh, whoopsh. Let's see what we get. That is just straight spinning inside of the T-nut. So is that. So I need to look at those ones. This one is all bound up. Like, it feels like the T-nuts are spinning, which is so bizarre, but it also feels like this thing should have snapped by now. Weird. Okay, let's take a look. Nothing's ever easy.
Edible Bard said, what about heating the T-nuts a bit with a soldering iron first?
I could. I was really just hoping that the screws would snap because I don't want this to turn into a project. Which is kind of why I wish I had my impact driver, because my impact driver would snap these things really fast. And then I can spend all of $1 to replace every bit of hardware I just ruined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screwdriver on a T-nut that I can see, and I'm going to watch. Oh, okay. So this is a T-nut where the ears have folded down. So someone just like absolutely mangled this T-nut. So when I'm spinning it, the nut is actually just spinning. I will fix that. Unfortunately, I've lost one of my favorite tools, and I don't know where. My small vice grips that had a like a little needle nose and like a slight bend to them. I don't remember if I custom made those for something in the motorcycle world or if or what, but I'm gonna see if I can get the Big Daddies on there. I just need to hold the T-nut and then see what happens. Maybe I'll be able to get it out or it'll just snap.
Pinberg says just keep hitting it with the hammer.
I mean, let's be honest, that really is the best way to fix all problems. If I can't fix it by nailing it with a hammer, I don't want to have the job. One of my techs at the motorcycle dealership always told me that. Like, if I can't fix this thing with a hammer, I don't want the job. Fair?
That's great.
Oh, shit. I need to do this with my dominant hand on the screwdriver. Make a little room here. Oh, God. There goes the camera. Man down.
No.
All right. It's back up. All right. Now let's see. Okay, where was I? You guys think that, like, pinball repair, maybe I give the impression that pinball repair is this, like, glamorous thing where you're, like, soldering crap and, like, making computers work and like making flippers flip so tournament people can be like happy as clams. Nah, dude,
happy as clams.
This is what pinball work is. It's just sitting here and like trying to get stubborn damn screws out of games that people don't take care of. It really is. I've probably been paid more money to do this kind of stuff than the actual glamorous stuff. And then you run into the problem where the screws are words I don't want to say right now, and they start to strip out. Let's see. I can do this. I just need to find the best way to do it. I want to use my right hand still. And this is also why you charge by the hour. And you record it so then people can see that you're not messing with them. Holy crap. Whew. At this point, I really just want a bolt cutter, and I want to cut the post and the bolt and just get it out. This is not worth the time to sit here and try to extract this stuff, and unfortunately I don't have a bolt cutter.
No.
Maybe hero Andrew Barney will hear my call, and he'll bring a bolt cutter to me.
That's funny.
Holy crap. Yeah, that guy's really in there. That's effed. Let's try another one. Is this one folded down? Yes. So what I'm doing is I'm using the vice grips to hold onto the T-nut. And hopefully holding onto the T-nut will allow me to then turn the screw to loosen it out. But I think the unfortunate fact is here is we have, first off, we have screws that are rusted in. And then we also have a bent over T-nut. So we're kind of like really getting the shaft 2 times. Let's catch up with the chat making fun of me. Yes, no. It is impossible to make tournament people happy. They whine about literally everything. Now Kyle sounds bitter. Yes. Hey, it's all... But this is the thing. That's what makes a problem solver. People that can figure these things out quick or rectify the situation quickly, right? The Dremel cutting wheel. I do give conflicting information all the time. But there's a difference between neglect and keeping your game clean, so... Working at the bottom of the playfields on these earlier games are absolutely a giant pain in the butt. I hate these early games that don't swivel up and out, especially at my height. It can be really annoying to work on. Like, I very much remember the first time I had to do all of the pop bumpers on a Doctor Who, and the WPC games are just like very much like, it's annoying. Anyways, I also think it's absolutely medicine to like complain your way through these things, because if you don't complain your way through it, it won't actually get done. It adds like superpowers. It makes the problems feel bad. So they just give up.
I understand.
Yeah, so I think if this doesn't work, there's really only 2 ways to do it. I either have to get a bolt cutter, which is the easy solution, or a Dremel, which I don't have here. I don't have either here. I'd prefer the bolt cutter because it's faster. Yeah, I'm not going to screw up anymore. Those aren't coming out. Or we drill out the bottom of the T-nut, but I also don't want to do that. It's messy. And it's much easier just to get a bolt cutter and go through and snap the entire post and screw off. So, unfortunately, that is that. This T-nut is still in. So the one all the way on the right, I think we can take out. Okay, that screw snapped because it's rusted in. These screws on these early 90s, late 80s Williams games are just hot garbage. They like to snap more than not. And that's fine, because snapping is preferable. I would much rather have them snap than do what I'm trying to do here. Because if it snaps, then I just get that punch, I hammer the whole thing through, and we're done. Move on to the next one. So.
Gotcha. Can you just snap them off?
Yeah.
Yourself? Oh, snap.
Yeah, maybe Stern needs to make a pinball game for Jack Danger and Kyle Height people. like a set of custom legs or something.
Some 4-inch leg legs.
Another one snapped off. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe that one actually came out. I don't know if that bottom was snapped or not. Either way, these two will come out, but the other two are mean. And this is actually, I'm kind of glad that I saved this for the show so you can see someone maybe will learn something from this. We've never really done a T-nut extraction before, so this is kind of useful. Now we have this guy here. If you want to put the small camera on, Emoto. Sorry, this stand is not as good as the old one. So this is the one where the head snapped off. Now at this point, it's very simple.
Don't miss.
Bye.
Bye. You should put the little magnetic bowl underneath so it goes clink.
Yeah, tink, right into the bowl. So yeah, frustrations. These are the pains of working through an older game for sure. They don't always go like 100% smooth when you're really having to take everything apart. That's also another thing I'll give a tip. Maybe not like a tip per se, but like advice. Like maybe you've gained confidence. You switch the cameras, Amor.
Oh my gosh, look at that camera.
Maybe you've gained confidence working on pinball games recently, and like maybe you've met someone who wants you to come work on their game and you want to go there and fix things. Like, unless it's your game or unless you've taken it apart before, do be careful about trying to take absolutely everything apart. Right? Can you imagine getting a game all the way apart and then you really want to clean this and then this sort of a thing happens? Like,
it'd be terrible.
We want to do good, we want to do the best, but also be aware of things that can be a very dangerous speed bump. You know, like, there's a difference between like I would not have taken this job in someone's house, right? This is 10 plus hours of work easily to try and get this game clean, working, and stuff like that. Like, A, it's miserable to do it in someone's house that's not yours, right? You want to do it in your own shop or garage or comfort or something. But when you run into problems like these, like doing it in someone's house can also absolutely be a pain in the butt. So like this level of teardown and a shop out is something maybe you want to do in your own workshop, or make sure you come prepared with stuff like that, which is also needs to happen a lot of the time. But yeah. Also, when you get really stumped when you're working on something in a customer's house, you have to bang your head against the wall until you can get that thing working. At this point, like if I was in my shop and I got frustrated by that, I could walk away and go work on something else. And then you can come back to this when you're ready to get back on something like that. I mean, this isn't that big of a deal, but like we're talking like greater troubleshooting, right? When you get stuck on a board problem or something like that, you know, the ability to walk away, think about it, and then come back to it is a very powerful tool as well. So just, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've like thought that I was doing the right thing by like taking care of that one nitpicky thing that's bothering me on a customer's game. I'm going to go change that rubber in the way back of the playfield because I'm here, and oh yeah, even though it's kind of a pain in the butt, I'm still going to do it. And then things snowball out of control, like strip T-nut, this, that. You can't put it back together because it's too far and you're just effed. And it, you know, your 5-minute job turns into a 30-minute thing, and then you're late to your next service call. And so keep that in mind if you are someone who does work on someone's game, or you want to keep those little things in mind, because not everything is smooth all the time, no matter how much you plan.
Good tips.
Yeah. Grandpa Kyle says, okay, that sucks. Let's leave it alone for now. There's other things that we can do. Even though I really wanted to clean that crap up, bolt cutter is definitely going to be the way to go. I think we actually sell a bolt cutter that would be perfect for that too. It's like a small bolt cutter. It's like a 10 or a 12-inch long bolt cutter or something like that. I really do need to keep one of those in my toolbox. So, what are we at next? Cleaning this whole area up is really what I should be working on doing. It's time to start disrobing of my jacket. It's a little hot in here.
He is disrobing.
Throw it on to the Weird Al game. Okay. Would any of you guys, people on the internet that are watching this show currently, be interested in like taking a multimorphic game, like going underneath the hood and looking at that?
Yes.
Because if you guys would be interested in that, we could totally do it.
That would be awesome.
They're heavy as can be, but they're really wacky looking underneath. Yes, yes. Everyone wants to see all the pinball. Look at that. Look, I just gave like a 5-minute, 10-minute like spiel on things that I've learned through my experience about like being careful and all this stuff, and no one says anything. And then I'm like, y'all want to see Weird Al? And everyone's like, oh, hell yeah, we want to see Weird Al.
Yeah.
Black Cat Pinball says, if customers want me to work on their games, I always make them bring it to my shop. That way I have all the stuff I need close by and no set time frame. Absolutely. That's the way I prefer to work as well.
That's you. You came in the chat to say your own spiel.
That is my friend in Sweden.
I know. Just kidding.
It's much easier to work in your shop, and I very much prefer to work in my shop all the time, or a shop. There's just more. There's the more customers that are. Sorry, you can see my head. There's more customers that like you can actually get work done by going to their houses. No, most of them don't want to bring things or can't bring things to you, which is an unfortunate reality. But in a perfect world, I would not do house calls unless I knew the person. I hate showing up to someone's house randomly now and being like, oh no, that's what I have to work on. Pimberg. Yes, sometimes a break can really help you fix all problems, because a lot of the times the issue's up here, not in there, and it's just about wrapping your head around what you're working on. All right, we will open up a multimorphic game. I almost feel like doing it right now because those T-nuts piss me off, but...
oh, yeah, you have a game over there. I forgot. I was like, where are you getting this multimorphic game?
We kind of could. I'm sorry your day was bad today, Daniel. Bad days at work are annoying, but an unfortunate reality of being a human. Barry R. How much gap should I make the switch gap on my Whirlwind flipper buttons? I mean, it depends on what you like, really. Not too close that, like, vibration will make them go off, but, you know, 2 millimeters or so? Steve, thanks for joining us, mate. I'll see you in a few months at the Golden State Pinball Festival. I'm sorry, I'm reading all the chats now. Hello, Backhand Pinball. Welcome to the stream. Like a couple millimeters, I say that like in a couple millimeters because like I hate pushing a flipper button and it not like energizing until I get like all the way to the end, you know what I mean? But I also don't like it when you just kind of like brush them and they immediately go. I don't think there's really like a good like total set like measurement. It really kind of does come to personal preference, but I prefer it. I really do like it when a flipper like goes after I've initiated the press, but not like a full press, right? If that makes sense. I'm also kind of a slappy player, so I don't also want to be able to kind of go like that without it not triggering or something like that. So I guess the answer to your question is somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I'm kind of like am at a loss right now. I mean, you know what? We need to rebuild the flippers. These things need to come out. Let me yank these flippers out because we have to clean. I need to clean under this apron. There's still a lot of playfield to be cleaned. I'm tirading and flailing my arms around and yelling like I'm Italian and you know what I mean? I love the animated hands of Italian speaking people. All right, I'm going to take these flippers apart here real quick. My T driver probably isn't going to fit. I might need to get an regular Allen wrench, but these are old flipper cranks. I can tell because they require a Allen wrench and a wrench, open-end wrench to get them off. The new ones have a captive nut, basically. What flipper switch gap is best for tap passes? I don't know. You just have to adjust yourself to the game, really. I think that's what makes pinball so fun in a competitive way is you need to... The Viking in my right behind me is not going to be set up exactly like your Viking. So they're all going to be just slightly different. And that is what makes it so exciting is when you're competing or trying to play for keeps or whatever. They're all just a little bit different. And it's up to you to learn the conditions you're playing in, you know? Dwayne the Bathtub has a great question. Hey, on that Elvira, some of the plastics have clear plastics riveted on top of them to keep balls from getting stuck. How do you handle those rivets when replacing plastics? Look, to be honest, a lot of the times I will just use screws and nuts. The rivets were used by the manufacturer because they are cheap and extremely fast to assemble that way. And when you're assembling like 10,000 of something, even though a rivet might only cost a half a penny and a screw costs you a full penny, when you add that up over 10,000 units, that adds up a lot. It also takes a little while longer to screw them in. So they were riveted for speed and for the economics of it. I like to use screws when possible, just because it's easier. But I do have riveting equipment. You do need to rivet things. If you prefer the sleek, original look of a rivet, there are tools that will help you do that. Some of them are better than others depending on application. Most riveted plastic assemblies on pinball can be replaced with a number 6 screw, though. I guess I'll just take the whole... No, I don't want to take the flippers all the way apart because I don't want the coils hanging. But... This flipper really doesn't want to come out. I struggle here. Hit it with a torque manipulation device. Get out of there. Almost there. Almost there. Come on. The things to struggle with on camera today. T-nuts and flippers that really don't want to come out. Come on. There it goes. My favorite flipper. Kind of looks like a French fry.
Oh.
Sorta.
It's the yellow carrot flipper.
Yeah, carrot flip. I think that's what the people on the internet call them.
Hello, Pinball Rob.
Hello, Pinball Rob.
Okay.
Let's get this one out too. This will allow me to clean around here. We'll also probably yank off the flipper inlane guides as well to allow for a good clean in that section. These flippers will definitely be gone through. They very much need it, but come on. These drop targets are also quite brutalized. We need to help those things out. Yes, the carrot flippers are a bit longer than standard. I think they're 1/16 of an inch longer than a standard flipper, whereas the lightning flippers I think are 1/8 of an inch shorter than a standard flipper. And those are evil and they suck and you shouldn't use them on your game. Even if they're original. Mr. Original says don't use them because they're dumb. Every game plays better without lightning flippers. Even if they were designed with them. Have to be real careful with this apron. The ink on the apron is very flaky, so I'm trying to be very cognizant of that. There's no real way to repair those when it starts to get this way. Through humidity and not super proper storage, we run into a situation where the ink just starts to lose its bond with the apron. I would rather have a flaky or done being flaked apron than one that has like decals poorly applied, but this one's not, at this point it's not bad enough for me to be like, yes, we're putting a decal on it. So yep, on Bugs Bunny they're totally carrots, aren't they? How long are banana flippers? Oh, I don't know, dude. I can't do that kind of math. I didn't pass that part of my math course at high school. There's a few formulas there I'm not familiar with, but I'm pretty sure banana flippers are about 3 inches long, just like a normal flipper. No, you are totally wrong, Digerati. Banana flippers have all the appeal. Banana flippers are the ultimate evolution of flipper. They're so insane.
Banana flippers.
They're super silly. We have, in jest, we have put banana flippers on games that should not have had banana flippers installed on them, and it makes it very fun.
Put banana flippers on hard body. Time Warp, yes. Time Warp was supposed to have banana flippers, right?
Time Warp and Disco Fever were the 2 games that used banana flippers. Ugh. We had a someone I knew put modified a banana flipper base onto a standard flipper like shaft, and we were able to put banana flippers onto an Attack from Mars. That was really fun. It was really dumb. They have appeal. That is a good pun. That is a good pun. I'm not good at puns, so I'm sorry I didn't catch that the first time. Dwayne the Bathtub. Seen pictures of banana flippers where the rubber appears to be molded into the plastic rather than the sleeve on the top. Did that actually exist? I have both banana games and hate the sleeve rubbers. I've never seen one that was not a sleeve rubber. I think that sleeve rubber was the only way that they were made in any official capacity. But that doesn't mean that any of the aftermarket part houses never made anything like what you're talking about.
That would be, yeah. Interesting. Hard to do as well.
Yeah, banana flippers are like rare as hen's teeth nowadays.
Borg dog put lightning flippers on his Starlight.
No, you're crazy, dude. Lightning flippers deserve to be in one place. The garbage bin. The annals of pinball histories and mistakes. I always thought that they were just... for a while, I was like a lightning flipper, like apologist. I was like, oh, I mean, that's how the game shipped, so they should be there. And like as soon as you play like a Williams Dracula without banana flippers, or you play Fishtails without banana flippers, the game is like better. Like actually better. And those games are great. If you want to make, here's a cheap mod to make your Dracula an even better game. Put real flippers on it. Ugh.
Imagine that.
Look at all that.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I can get a good look.
That's going to be a really fun socket to clean out. Ugh.
Ew, why would... Oh, yeah. That's nice. Bring it closer.
No, it's gross. It needs to be destroyed before it gives us disease.
Kyle has definitely a strong opinion about lightning flippers.
You don't say. Look, they just don't belong on the games, man. The only reason they're there is because the Germans were complaining that they're better at pinball than we are, so they need to make the games better. And then Williams bent over and said, okay, and put those lightning flippers on. And then it lasted for like 3 games. If lightning flippers were good and were like the next good thing in pinball, they probably would have lasted for more than like 3 games, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
From the king of original, like wanting to keep everything as factory as possible, I do have a strong stance on this, and hopefully my contradicting of those 2 different things show you how passionate I am about this issue. Best flipper neck mechanisms were on Gottlieb's System 3 games. Discuss.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see it pop up earlier, but 30 minutes ago, Paper Armadillo asked for pinball trivia. Did you already do that?
I didn't see the pinball trivia.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think that this is the correct. The answer I'm thinking of, I think, is correct. And I want to see what you guys think. This isn't totally 100% trivia because I don't know the actual answer, but I think I do. And then I'm going to argue about Steve's thing in a second. Nolan, no, you're almost there.
Dr. Dude.
Which pinball designer has the most titles sold, the most units sold?
Pat Lawler.
I don't know, because I think like you'd think it's Pat Lawler. I think that okay. Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this because this is where this answer actually gets it's too big. So let's phrase it this way.
Harry Williams. Oh.
What is the highest which pinball designer has sold more units 1977 until now? Because that's where we run into the thing, right? Like Ed Korinsky, like Steve Kordek, those guys, I mean, even though they maybe only sold 3,000 to 5,000 of each of their games, that's a lot. I mean, that's like a big run for like 90s standards, right? Okay, hold on, we're sitting down. Kyle's leaning and like poking his fingers around now, so this means it's like serious discussion. I think the answer is Steve Ritchie. I think that the pinball designer, the engineer, the designer himself, I think it's Steve Ritchie.
Flash. Almost. And that's where it becomes different, because Pat Lawler had one humongous hit, and then a few good games, and then a few duds. Where Steve Ritchie has Steve Ritchie has a like almost 20,000 unit game, and then multiple 10,000 unit games. I'm pretty sure that answer is very easy, Steve Ritchie. There's probably 5 digits of Firepower. There's probably 5 digits of Black Knight. There's probably 5 digits of he didn't do Fishtails. That was Mark. But the thing is when you add those things up together like that, and then AC/DC. We don't know how many AC/DC Stern has made, but I guarantee you that number is almost a 5-digit number. Abe Flips, hello. Thank you for rating, mate. Welcome. Willkommen to all of my friends from Germany. What had 15,000 units? Yeah, see, there you go, right? You have so many games. Hey, okay, for everyone that just joined, we were debating. I don't think we're debating. I think I knew the answer, but we were trying to figure out who the pinball designer who had the most units sold post-1977. Emoto, I think people can't hear you. Emoto, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I muted myself. Thank you, Thalamus.
I think that, like, the most... But here's the other thing, too, is, like, when you think about it, like, if we consider pinball games that don't have flippers, and we go way back in the day, that's really complicated. There's no records for a lot of those games, right? When you think about, like, Harry Williams, when you read about all that stuff, like Harry Williams sold like tens of thousands of just Contact in the 30s, right? Like 30,000 contacts over, a period of a few years. So I think like if we kept it like to the flipper era, I would say like electromechanicals era, I would almost think that it either had to be Steve Kordek or Ed Korinsky that had the most units sold.
Yeah.
People are getting the math
I think Ed for sure. But post that, you're definitely right with Steve Ritchie.
Nolan, F14. F14 sold like 15,000 units, didn't it? I definitely think Steve was the highest selling over, but also that's a crazy long career. When we consider that Pat Lawler started making pinball games in only the 80s or the late 80s, and he was like a very heavy contender, like coming up on that number quite quickly. But that's interesting. The Patla comment there. Someone said. I think it's up a little bit, but Jim Patla, oh no, it's right there, 86,000 units.
Wow.
And Korinsky at 91,000 or so units. Oh yeah, not only was there like 15,000 F14s, I'm sure there was almost an equal amount of high speeds also.
Yeah, there was. About the same amount.
One day I'll know the answer of how many AC/DCs were made. They'll make that public. But dude, like, AC/DC was like originally released in what? The 2007? No, dude. AC/DC is definitely the best-selling Stern game of all time.
2012.
It was 2012. I mean, they've been making they made AC/DC for like 6 years, and they how many limited editions of AC/DC did they do? They did a vault where they vaulted like all three models,
and then they did the Back in Black, and then the Lucy.
I think the first one was there was the Road Case edition was like one of their LEs, then the Back in Black, and then Lucy. Yep. But they vaulted it. Like AC/DC is probably the highest selling game, just considering how long they made that game for. Road Case was Metallica. Thank you. 666 AC/DCs. I mean, I think like probably a close second would maybe be Metallica, considering how many times they reran that. But I don't think Spider-Man was like a huge seller, even though they vaulted that game. I don't think Stern Star Trek was also like a massive seller. I mean, it obviously sold well enough, and there was enough pent-up demand for that game to be manufactured twice. But like over a period of 6 years, like Stern was manufacturing AC/DC like almost consistently. Like that has to be their most well-selling game. I have taken probably more AC/DCs out of the box than any other pinball game. Maybe the only other one might be Iron Maiden.
What if you're counting at how many you unbox at shows? Then it's got to be Godzilla.
Yeah, probably. Multiple shows of just unboxing over 30 Godzillas.
Yeah. So many Godzillas. What is the best-selling Spike game is?
Ooh. I'd probably say it's Iron Maiden, just because that game is 6 years old and was like a runaway hit. And just with my experience of selling so many Iron Maidens, I can probably say that was probably our best-selling game. So I can imagine most other people had the similar experience. I want to answer Steve's question about Gottlieb System 3 flippers, and I think those are good flippers, but I also want to talk about Foo Fighters now that everyone's here. I've always joked with Chris, and I'm talking to Steve now. People might know who Chris is. When we were always talking about making the world's most reliable pinball game, it would be like a Bally, 80s like hardware, because that stuff is just indestructible. It would have, a Williams diamond plate playfield with mostly like 90s Williams mechanics, except it would have Gottlieb System 80 flippers, or like the big chunky flippers with the two big old, what are they called? Bushings, and like the really fat shafts. They never wear out. They always work. They're incredible. You never need to rebuild them. It blows my mind how many of those rebuild kits we sell, and how many times I've actually ever needed to replace any components in those flippers, which is almost zero, because they're just so overbuilt. So overbuilt. Oh, European playfield? They are beautiful. I really like the System 3 flippers because I always like talking to John Borg about making them and designing them, but I also really like how crazy high they come up, so you can always trap a ball. I'm going to go grab a beer, and let's talk about Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters rules. So argue amongst yourself, because it's probably going to be one-sided.
I don't think anyone disagrees with Foo Fighter being the great new hotness from Stern Pinball by our brother Jack Danger. When y'all get to play this soon, you're gonna be like, yes. There's so many little Jack Danger aesthetics to it too, which is very great. He did awesome.
So Emoto, did you get to play it when you were up there, or no?
I didn't play it. I watched them flip it, but I was studying kind of the art package and everything.
It's super good.
It's amazing.
I got to play it when I was in Chicago last month, and it was the code has progressed a lot. There's a lot more assets in it after watching Jack Danger's stream last night. But holy crap, is that a cool game? A really cool game. And I'm not just saying that to like stoke Jack's ego. Like it's really good. It has a really incredible flow. It has everything I like in a game. Not necessarily like a flow per se, but like certain shots that really just jam well together. And it's really easy to get the ball to a place where you want it. I played the Pro mostly because that was what was in Mike's basement. But just like that upper right flipper and the ability to like loop, and there's like 3 or 4 shots off of that upper flipper. It has an incredible cross playfield shot, which is probably my favorite, where you hit the left. It's like a little ramp, and then it whips around, runs across the playfield, up, and then back down to the flipper. It's so good. And I think the really neat thing that is interesting to see Jack making a game is that there's a lot of stuff that is absolutely not standard on Jack's game, on his first like big cornerstone, in the sense that like he didn't just like take the copy paste, Italian bottom of a pinball game, right? It's got those really tall and skinny and at a very acute angle slingshots, right? The slingshots look very much like an old Bally game or an old Gottlieb game from the 80s, where they're not like just a triangle shape, right? You've got like a kicking target, which I think is really, really fun. And the way that he used the kicking target, that isn't something necessarily you hit, but something that the ball might roll into and then give you action, right? The way that the ball will drain down onto that kicking target and then it'll get yeeted up the ramp. It's so cool. I think like, I always joke, it's like there's no such thing as a good pinball game that doesn't have pop bumpers, but I think Jack's use of the kicking target for like an odd randomizer is absolutely breaks that rule. So
it's pretty amazing.
I'm trying to read some of these comments.
Abe says he moves the slings more to the sides like on Owen's games.
Yes, they're a little more wide open, and I think that's why that shape is really interesting to me. But also the fact that it is like a throwback shape. The fact that, not that he got away with it, but Jack was able to design like a lower third on that pinball game that really matched well to be able to like have the green light from everyone that's like, wow, that actually works. It works in a way that it's not just like that to be different, perhaps. So I don't know, like I don't necessarily know that good pinball players are the best designers. I think that there is a very there is a level
they make good designers.
They can, and I think that there's a level of creativity that like has to exist, right? But also Keith is very well versed in pinball because he's played everything. And Jack is also quite well versed in pinball, and he likes weird stuff. And I think that I'm trying to say things that make sense and also like don't sound mean, but like I think like the way that Jack's game is different is a very nice breath of fresh air in the fact that not all things need to be so hyper similar in their own way, right? I mean, like, look, we've got the Borg bottom, right, with the dual inlane feeds, and you get Borged, and the ball hits the metal, and it bounces out. Like, that's his signature. He's been using that bottom, and that's where you start. He has a very similar bottom, and then the rest of his games are beautiful and wacky. I think, I don't know, Keith maybe he also uses he has his own setup for a bottom that is very good. right? We can all agree it's good. Maybe Jack will do something totally different next time. But the fact that he got inspiration from some other geometries and was like, I want to try that. I think it'll work. And then it did. I think that's the thing. Like, having someone who is into the wacky and very well versed in pinball does make a good designer. I don't know if every good pinball player would necessarily be a good designer because, you know, some people are cut out for it and some aren't. Absolutely, both of them are. I mean, but then again, it's like, again, it's not just him, right? There's a team. And and Jack is very much the first person to tell you it's a team effort, right? I mean, he's got Raymond Davidson, who is also a extremely talented player, coming up with a lot of these rules, and also probably a lot of these guys had a hand in laying the game out. So it's really good. And I really, really, really can't wait for you guys to get to play it because it is as good as it looks. It's been so hard to not say anything about it, and I'm sure it's even harder for the people that work on it because they're so proud of it, but it was just so good. And it's interesting because it's like a game for me that is nostalgic because I really liked the Foo Fighters, right? They were a good band. I really liked Nirvana, and then I got into the Foo Fighters, and I was like, oh, okay, the connection there got me into that band. And that game like evokes nostalgia for me. Unlike something like Stranger Things, which I enjoy, and that is a television show I like, and it's cool that there's a pinball game, but it doesn't evoke the same nostalgia that like the Foo Fighters do, even though they're still a current band. So it's really interesting to me. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to get a premium for certain. Like it one day. My wife loves it. She got to play it when I was in Chicago as well. And someone just walked in the door. Hey, who is it?
Hello. Oh God, that's you.
Oh, it sounds like an Andrew. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. And I think the fun thing too is like it's a friggin' home run because it's not just this is pinball game based on band. It's like, no, here, we get super rad Foo Fighters, but we also get this fun story, right? And it's good and it's fun and it's lighthearted and it's a pinball game that makes you smile, right? It's like it has everything that I want in a game, you know, to have legs or something I want to have in my house. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting like passionate and like talky now. But yes, it will be here. Yes, Abe Flips, I have played it. It's super cool. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat now. But unlike Jack, I don't just read things out loud while I'm reading them in my head.
You should read them out loud. Ron Burgundy. Set 30 feet. Ordered a Pro yesterday. Yay,
Nice.
yay, Abe. Nice.
Nothing's on the teleprompter. But I have a bad habit of like reading half of a sentence and then stop reading it halfway through and then just responding to it. So I'm trying to read it in my head right now. But I don't know, dude. It's really good and the team really knocked it out of the park, and I know that it's going to be a joy. I hate to see people saying it's like, oh, well, this is how all games need to be released. You know, why was James Bond released this way? And I think it's very apparent. Everyone has said that there were a lot of hurdles to come over when doing the James Bond project, right? And I think we can also look back on certain games that were not given the love that they deserved when they were new, but are now yearned for. Batman, Stranger Things, Ghostbusters. All of those games came out to some criticism when they were new, and now those are games that people want and love because they were fostered and given the attention they needed to become the best that they were, right? And James Bond's going to be the exact same way. It's tough. I think they've said enough of the trials and tribulations, but it is still a fun game, and it is a different kind of game. I think that the rules in James Bond are going to evolve to be the kind of game that is so deep you'll never experience the same thing twice. And I'm excited to watch it continue on its journey. I am sad that we never got like a show to like really feature James Bond at, though. Like, since it came out when it did in the cycle at the end of the year, you know?
I know. That's why this is what I'm literally been working on, trying to design something cool at MGC or TPF that really just highlights Bond.
It's tough. I missed my chance to be able to dress in a tuxedo and pretend to be James Bond.
Oh yeah, you should do that. You should do that for the Twippies.
No, I won't go up on the stage. I'm too embarrassed. I locked up and froze last year. I couldn't do it.
No, you did so great. What are you talking about?
I said howdy. That's all I said. I think
that was enough.
I don't, and I think everyone's entitled to their own opinions on the way games play, because I am a lover of the old, and I could sit and play Lady Luck for hours, and I think that would bore a lot of people. So I think that the fun thing about pinball, just like I said about like the difference, if I came to your house with my computer, Emoto, and we played Counter-Strike, and then you came over to my house and we played Counter-Strike, it's the same damn game. But if we played Elvira at your house and you came and played my Elvira, it's a totally different experience. And I think that's the fun thing about pinball. And not only are they different from game to game because of so many factors, but every game is made for a different person. There are plenty of people out there that say Ghostbusters is their favorite game of all time, and there is no gigantic flipper gap. And then there's also just as many people on the other hand that say it's a terrible game and the flipper gap is a million miles wide, right? So, I don't know.
To each their own, indeed.
Yeah. I guess Jersey Jack and American Pinball will have some interesting treats for us to see at TPF in a couple weeks.
Dude, everyone's bringing a new game.
It's very exciting. Very exciting. Can we gush about how cool Stern's like release schedule is too about this new game? I'm sorry. I thought that was super rad that marketing put out the all right, this day we're doing this. So you get the set list, and then you get to see the game, and then you get to see it streamed, and then you get to see the pro. It's just so good. Good job, Zach, and rest of the team.
For sure.
Pinball is the most boring game. It really is. You just push two buttons. There's nothing else going on. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's what makes it special, I think. And I think everyone, if you enjoy games like Deadpool and Iron Maiden, and you will very much enjoy the Foo Fighters. I also just happen to really like the music, so it will be a really, really fun game for me.
Are you a Foo? Is that what they call Foo Fighter fans?
I don't know. I don't think so. I saw the Foo Fighters in 2007 or 8 at BFD, and then I remember going to LA to see the Foo Fighters in like 2010 or 11. So that was pretty cool. I've seen them a few times. Great shows. And Dave Grohl's just like an all-around awesome dude.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's like what is it, Bono? Right?
Like who?
Bono? Is it Bono?
Why are we talking about Bono?
Oh wait, not Bono. John.
U2 made like all that DMCA crap happen, and Metallica. I've got a beef with both of those.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Can you guys hassle Stern Marketing for more stickers and such? So every Stern-related order from you guys comes with laptop stickers. Ooh, maybe. Are you not satisfied with our super cool Marco stickers? Gosh, no. We should.
Bon Jovi. John Bovey. Thank you, Wildman. Hello, Squalita.
Honestly,
I think it's about really that time, Kyle. To clear it out.
They just took the table out, so we don't have to end right at 5. But I still want to because I want to go home and make dinner. But
the coil sleeves on a JJP and Stern are the same or different?
They're the same. I mean, it just depends on what application you need the coil sleeve for, but the dimensions and everything are the same otherwise. Abe is asking which is the left or the right orbit feels more satisfying. I think the shot that's the shot that's most satisfying on that game to me, other than the upper orbit loop, if maybe that's the left orbit you're talking about, but it is the cross playfield shot. The cross playfield shot that goes from that left and then up and around and then back to the right flipper. It's incredible. It feels so good.
Oh no, we need to send Marco stickers to Denmark.
To Denmark?
Come on, Kyle.
I'll definitely send some flippers or some stickers to you in Denmark, mate. That'd be awesome. Okay, we just gotta tell the packers to just throw stickers in everything. I have a whole bin of stickers on my desk. I throw at things sometimes. Any other games you can think of that have alley pass targets? The only one I can think of, and the one that Jack called out, is Heavy Metal Meltdown. But I'm sure that there is 1 or 2 more games that might have them. But that isn't a stupid question. The flipper coil sleeves. The flipper coil sleeves are the same between Jersey Jack, Stern, and Williams. All of them use the same size flipper coil. So, yeah. Man, Pinball Rob always has the tops questions. Dude, that's like so before my time. I don't know anything about the tops system, really. I'm sorry.
Pinball Rob is coming to Texas Pinball Festival, maybe? Question mark? Long way from home, but who knows? Is anyone in the chat doing Pin Clash? Well, playing Godzilla and the big IE Pinball Pin Clash. There's a lot of people starting to stream for that, practicing for the big day.
Talking about sticker gate.
I'm like, man, we'd have to make so many stickers to put them in every single order.
We do not give you stickers if you get free shipping. Do you want to know the great Marco secret of who gets free swag in their orders? It's if we have it or not. If we have a bunch of free crap to throw in boxes, we will. But maybe we just haven't had some super cool stickers for a minute. So I think Emoto and Serene can work on that and get some cool stuff.
Yeah, we should do a sticker day.
Translucent coil sleeves versus the brown ones.
Sticker day. If you order on this particular day.
I don't know any difference between the translucent ones versus the brown ones, but I also don't really have any of the translucent ones. I don't know if there's a quality difference, and I don't want to give any wrong information out. So I won't comment on that. But the brown ones feel smoother. I don't know what it is, but most of the ones we sell are the more brown, tan, nylon coil sleeves. But they are special. They're not just plastic. Coil sleeves are actually they're part plastic and also part they use a very small amount of fiberglass, I think, to stiffen them up and also make them a little bit more I don't know, maybe a little more heat resistant to an extent. I'm not sure if that's the property that fiberglass has. I know that there are some German suppliers that provide coil sleeves that are of the clear variety, but the supplier I am thinking about also sells them in the brown variety. And I actually am curious to ask them maybe what the difference in their composition is, if they'll tell me. Will Todd be allowed to poke you in the eyes? Emoto, are you going to get poked in the eyes by Todd Tucky?
Yes, of course. I was thinking I could do a skit where like he goes to poke me in the eye and I act like my eye fell out and I'll drop like a pinball and it rolls off on stage. And I'll be like, my eye! Ah. No. Anyway. No.
You should. I can't wait to see Todd. Some people
Unicorn
hate the translucent
skin.
ones. Huh. Yeah, well, okay. Well, if you guys are at TPF, come say hi. We can drink a Shiner Bock together and high five, maybe play a game of pinball. You guys should try to come to TPF because it is a really fun time. It is very pinball centric. It's pretty cool. This one might be fun just because there's going to be so many new games announced or there for play. Like, that's pretty cool. Pretty special. Digirati Ohm has a Wicco pocket protector. That's super cool. Backhand Pinball is not going. Why not? You should come. Hopefully it's not on a race weekend. I'll be really sad. I'm excited to watch the Bahrain Grand Prix on Sunday. Nolan the Bozo Zone man is not allowed to leave his state legally. That's sorry. That sucks. I break the law. I leave. I'm not allowed to leave either, but I do. The wrong side of the pond? No, you're probably on the right side of the pond, let's be honest, but I understand you're on the wrong side of the pond to get to Texas reasonably quickly in the next couple weeks. So. Oh, yeah, I forgot about your employment situation. Sorry to hear about that, mate. Understandable, though. Understandable. Maybe I'll catch you again in Chicago for Expo this year. I would love to watch another F1 race with you. When we were tearing down Expo, I was like kind of upset. I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to get back to watch the race. I'm probably just going to have to spoil the race. And we're done setting up Expo, and we go get lunch and then get back. And then Backhand Pinball is sitting on my friend's couch watching the F1 race. Immediately when I got home, I was like, all right, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to do. And we became very strong friends ever since. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. This was actually an exciting stream today. Once I got like a little bit angry. And then like I wanted to talk about Foo Fighters, and now we're talking about it, and it's so exciting. Everyone should come to Expo this year. Even if Nolan the Bozo Zone can't legally leave his state. Extra long stream? Nah, sorry, dude. I gotta get home, eat some food, hang out with my cats, watch some TV. I don't know what I do. Angry can be a good thing sometimes, yes. Yeah, I wonder when Jersey Jack was planning on releasing their game. If not, it doesn't matter. We will see it pretty soon. I assume that they will be doing some sort of a fun release. I am excited to see what they've concocted. I have heard from multiple people who work at Jersey Jack that it is a very good game. I'm excited to see it. You guys don't want an extra long stream because like in like 30 minutes my energy levels are just gonna fall off a cliff. You're not gonna be here for the stream, right, Emoto, next week?
No.
Just no, straight no.
No. I mean, yeah, I will be not physically there.
Okay. At least we'll have all our cool cameras and stuff again. Pinball Rob, how many games have active items in the back box like T3? Ooh. Well, I guess the real easy one is NBA Fast Break. I mean, like, what? Is that like an actively controlled thing? Because if not, you've got games like Dancing Doll. You've got games like Mermaid. You've got Star Trek Data East. Circus Voltaire, yep. Big Guns, yep. Man, we're blowing them out of here. What else? I'm looking around to see if I have anything. No, not in here. Rocky and Bullwinkle, yep. Bad Cats with the spinny. I mean, you've got like Elvira and Comet with the spinning wheels. Yeah, keep it up. What else? Super Soccer 300. Yeah. I got the bowling balls and those are good additions. What else? Ice Fever. Is Ice Fever the EM, the hockey one? Because there's like a Williams one that has like a hockey puck that moves left to right. Meow, meow, meow. Bank-a-ball, yeah. Oh, Subway and Hurdy-Gurdy and Cowpoke, the one where the horse kicks that guy in the butt. That's Ice Fever.
Oh yeah, Cowpoke.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. There's a lot of there's a decent amount of games that do some fun stuff in the back glass. I wonder why. I mean, that's expensive, but it's a fun thing, I guess. Mibs. Oh, Bonsai Run. I mean, that absolutely counts. Even though, kind of. I mean, the marquee is way up here. It's not necessarily the back glass. I don't know. That might be a technicality.
That's the upper playfield.
Yeah.
The vertical playfield. Hi, Mom.
Hay Burners. Yeah. Gottlieb SS? What's Gottlieb SS? Lights, Camera, Action. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. All the good questions are coming out here at the end when we have to leave. Another coil question. In the coil assembly on the end side, there's a circle thing between the coil holder and the coil. Is that useful and why? Yes, you should try to reinstall it. It's a wave washer. I actually have one here in my fingers. That's there to keep the coil from vibrating when it's energized. It can vibrate and hum a bit, so this keeps it in place. It's not necessary for proper function, but you should keep it there if you have one. Catacomb. That is a perfect example of something in a back box. Good job, Steve. Oh, Ice Fever. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Fire. Fire has the spinnies in the back glass. What else? There has to be more. We've kind of got a good list going. But there has to be more. I can't think of anything, though. Centigrade 37, yeah, that counts.
Off to bed. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for subbing, mate. Next time you put an order in with us, email one of us. Email...
You could do marcotv@marcopinball.com.
Yeah.
And remind us to throw some stickers in there. We'll tell our peoples that your peoples talk to us peoples. But we really appreciate the sub. Yeah. Oh, thanks for gifting to Roller Pinball as well. Amazing.
You. Black Hole, yes. What else? There has to be another one that we're totally blanking on.
You named so many, I missed them.
I know, but it's fun.
Start over so I can get the list.
When Chris and I would be in the car and have to do like some long delivery or a long service call drive.
Scared Stiff. Surely you said Scared Stiff, right?
Yeah, we did talk about Scared Stiff.
Yeah.
Riverboat Gambler. Yeah, Spirit. Spirit also counts. It's got a rotating disc.
Yeah, because it's on fire. Oh, wait. What about Fire? Does that count?
Yep. Daniel said fire earlier, I think. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the sub as well. I'll say it one more time.
T2 or 3, whichever one.
T3 was the
like that fan shooting the balls out.
Well, it was the first question. It was like, what other games have this like Terminator 3?
Oh, it was the preface
Star Trek
of the whole conversation. Gotcha.
Hey, another subscription from Edible Bard. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Devil Riders.
Dude, this is great. Have you ever seen the holding screen for Mystery Pinball Theater 3000 on Twitch?
Yes,
it's literally walking through the town and walking all the way up to Free Gold Watch for 5 minutes. And then right as he gets into Free Gold Watch, that's when it's like the show's beginning in 5 seconds. That's
so cool.
And it ends right there. Oh my God, that was amazing.
I can't wait to go home this summer and go back to Free Gold Watch again. I think I'm going to go back home twice this year. Once for the Golden State Pinball Festival, definitely once for California Extreme. But I want to go back. It was so much fun taking my little brother there who doesn't play pinball.
I know. He was so helpful too. He was the sweetest.
Oh, at the show? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird calling him my little brother because he's like 25, but you know.
He is your little brother.
Free Gold Watch is a great place. Bring your own beer. It's decent food nearby. It's super chill. The people are really nice. I miss working there and stuff.
Yeah. It's the greatest.
Yep.
And they just made our new 2023 staff shirts for Marco Trade Show season. Aren't you excited, Kyle?
I am. I don't know what they look like, so I'm pretty excited to see.
Free Gold Watch made up, so that's all you have to worry about. All right, well, we're going to raid Mystery Pinball Theater 3000 so you can see shirts printing in the background.
Yeah, maybe. Let's do it. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks
we'll see y'all next week.
Massive amount of conversation we had here for a minute.
Yeah, Kyle couldn't even work. You dreams come true. He's like, this is a talk show now.
I don't mind a talk show every once in a while, but we'll get this sorted out, and who knows what we'll do next week. It might not be Elvira. We'll see. Maybe we'll move on to something a little more exciting and different, but thanks for joining us. And,
the multimorphic. We got to look inside the weirdo.
Okay, yeah, we'll plan that in next week. We'll look into some of the weird games we have here, like with the fake Williams games, the remakes, and the Weird Al. They're interesting. So, cheers, right, everyone. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Rating initiated. Oh, a hype train is so close.
Yeah, we just absolutely derailed our hype train. Okay, and now everyone on YouTube and Facebook, you're still here, but you're being cut off.
Goodbye.